Part of it is it's become the formula for these promoters with these mega deals with the networks to give a layup.
Yep.
To give the first one an appetizer, to give a freebie. They did it with Canelo in the first one.
Yep.
Before they gave him a real fight.
They did it with Wilder.
They did it with everybody. They did it with Fury. We'll get to that later. And they did it with Triple G. So it's the formula. So it's not Teddy Atlas being smart or anything, because you don't have to be the Mason Kreskin to figure out they're not going to put him in, with Carmen Basilio, right?
Yeah.
We understand, or Jake LaMotta, or dare I say, the great Sugar Ray Robinson. I won't even go there. But the ones I said are great enough. But it's not just that we got it right as far as it being 4 rounds or somewhere in that vicinity, but we got it right about how it would unfold. I remember using the analogy that if a kid's coming up to the big leagues for the first time facing a pitcher like a Bob Gibson, and Golovkin could be Bob Gibson, right?
Yeah.
A guy that's known, a guy that's been great. And, well, the first thing Bob Gibson would do to that new kid coming up to the big leagues is welcome to the big leagues and give a high and tight 100-mile-an-hour fastball under the ear. I remember saying that here. Well, what represents a high and tight 100-mile-an-hour fastball under the ear in boxing? What could Triple G do? Go put some water in the basement, bang him in the body, and make him know this is different. Make him know this feels different. It's never felt like this for you before. You're in the big leagues.
Yep.
Introduce him to the big league. Let him start thinking the wrong way immediately, so you get him out. And that's where I figured it could be 4 rounds. And he did it. He went and put water in the basement. He went and put the high, tight one under his chin, the fastball right down the middle. In this case, the left hooks and the right hands to the body.
Yeah.
And he introduced him to Rose being him. He introduced him to a different level of fighting, to a different feel. He let him know right away. This, it feels different, don't it? Yeah, it does. And maybe the next sponsor, if I could do more of this, would be Campbell's Soup, because that's you listening, Campbell's out there, so we can keep doing these things, because that comes next when you bang a guy in the body that ferociously. Campbell's Soup for about a week, because that's what you're drinking, that's what you're eating, because you're not taking in solids. So that's how the fight panned out, and I'll tell you, you want my evaluation on him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks. My evaluation on him, my report card, and I'm critical when I have to be critical, but I try to be complimentary the same way if it calls for it. I think Jonathan Banks did a good job. I think that he looked better to me. Now, I know some people are going to say, Teddy got hit with this punch. He pulled back. He got hit a punch that probably looked more than it was because the way he got caught. It was pretty visual. He got caught pulling back. He got caught stopping his head in the middle once. But I think it was because he was trying new things. I saw new things. I saw improved fighter from when he was with the other guy.
Abel Sanchez.
Yeah, I saw an improved fighter. What did I see? What did you see, Ted? Well, first of all, I saw someone revitalized. I thought that he wasn't worn out physically. I thought he was fresher physically. I think that Sanchez had overtrained him in some fights.
Mm-hmm.
I've mentioned that. I saw a guy that was fresher physically. He looked like he had more pep to him.
Yeah.
He looked a little younger. He looked a little revitalized physically and mentally. Where it was fun for him again, where he had a different energy than I had seen recently, where he was almost starting to look stale.
Yeah.
I thought in the last Canelo fight, he looked physically drained.
Yes.
I felt that. I saw where he didn't look that way. He looked fresher and stronger. And part of the proof is the way he went to that body. I saw more combinations. I saw a different array of combinations. I saw a little bit more creativeness instead of the same old stuff. He was more creative, putting punches together. I saw head movement that I hadn't seen. Yeah, some of it was from too far away. It was from my point of view, but he was doing it. He was trying, and he had the right idea. And that idea was given to him by somebody that he hadn't gotten before that because he hadn't really shown that to that degree, to that level. So I saw all those things, and those are good things. And I give Jonathan Banks credit for that because he's the man that was there in this transition. And I also saw, to the point of creativeness and to the point of being just mentally more up and more like it was fun again, was I loved the way he finished the fight. And I guarantee you there's very few people out there, I know the commentators didn't mention it, that picked up on how he finished his fight. And if you guys watch it with this in mind. He turned southpaw. Nobody mentioned it. He turned southpaw and he delivered. And there's my man never lets me down, Rob, our producer here. And he turns southpaw. Now, see, he's in the orthodox position, left foot forward. Now, look, he turns southpaw. He goes back to orthodox again. Now, again, left hand forward, left foot forward. He's a orthodox fighter right now. He's got him up against the ropes. He's looking for the finishing punch. Southpaw. He turns southpaw. Freeze that. Go back, and some people will see this and appreciate it the way it should be appreciated. It wasn't an accident. Watch. Now, keep it there. Look. All right, we'll get back to it. But he's got him in trouble. He's looking for a stop. He's looking for a finishing punch, right? So he turns southpaw. Now, let me tell you, this is his own little genius. And why, obviously he's a world champion. And I know I've knocked Triple G, say he's overrated, but I didn't say he wasn't really good. And, he's been king for a while. And I think sometimes he got away with it with Sanchez with his physicality. But part of it, before we go too far here, he's not in with the highest level of opponent.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And you're
very
right.
overmatched.
But here, he showed some of that creativeness and some of why he is king. He turns southpaw because he knows that he's changing the angles of his punches. That's going to change the eyesight and the eye coordination of rolls. What do I mean by that? All of a sudden, the punches are coming from one angle. Now they're coming from a different angle. So the eyes don't match up quick enough. They don't make the adjustments quick enough to the punches coming from a different angle. And just a little subtle thing like that can create a knockout. This was created. The point I'm making is, I know he did it with this level, but he did it because of his brain, his intellect, his experience. He's calm enough under uncalm circumstances to do this, to turn southpaw, where suddenly the left hand became the power hand, not the jabbing hand, not the setup hand anymore. Now it became the power hand, just like the right hand is normally the power hand because it's the back hand where you could turn into, where you could turn and put your back into it, like there. Now, just keep it there. So watch this now. So he turns southpaw, so now it's going to come from a different angle, and the left hand becomes the power hand, not the setup hand anymore. It's the power hand now where he could turn his foot into it. He could turn his back into it. It's coming from a further place back instead of from here where that normally would be the jabbing hand from the lead. But watch this. Don't do it yet. But when he throws this punch, he places it over here, behind the glove, over here.
I was going to say, he doesn't just shoot it straight. It
No,
kind of just
purposely.
a slight loop around his, around
You know why?
Will's right hand. It was beautiful.
So he could blind him.
Yeah.
He did it because he knew this glove was going to do some of his work for him. He knew this glove was going to blind Rolls because the glove's going to get higher. And he knew it would take his peripheral away, his vision. And he recognized that under these extreme conditions. And he changed the trajectory, and he made this punch go over here. Normally it would
Just
come down
slightly.
here.
Yeah,
It would normally come down here, come down the pike, down Highway 101. But no, he makes it come around here where Rolls' eyes can't pick it up. Now watch, let it roll out, and watch this. This is really, boom! He never saw the punch because he threw it from a blind alley. And again, you probably didn't hear that night, but if you're watching this, and if you're buying these shorts,
10,000.cc.
10,000. All right. If you're buying these shorts, you continue to be able to get stuff like this, and you continue to, get these kind of insights, hopefully. But here we are, And that is just a magnificent piece of work there under those kind of extreme conditions inside that squared circle where, things are chaotic, where there's a fire going on, a fire of emotions, a fire of fear, a fire of danger.
Big expectations on him.
And he's able to think that way and put that punch the way he put it. And there was another one, and Rob will probably pick up on it. There was another spot just before that, and I'm sure Rob will grab it, where I'm going to name the punch, a corkscrew punch. I tell you.
I was going to ask you about that.
I don't think I've ever seen it before.
I was going to ask you that he looked to put a little water in the basement. He hit him with some body shots, and then correct me if I'm wrong, because this is how I interpret it. Rob and I watched this fight after the Saturday night event at the hall. We watched it back in the hotel room. It looked to me like he softened him up with some body shots, and then Rolls, almost like amateurish, put his head down, which allowed Triple G to hit him with a corkscrew square on top of his head. Because he took his eyes off him.
That's a good point.
Triple G put the earmuffs on, but not only put the earmuffs on, but took his eyes off his opponent and, like an amateur, put his head down because he had no other defense. And Triple G, like a veteran, placed the shot
there it is.
right on top of his head.
Yeah, you're right. See, to take a punch, you have to see it.
Exactly.
So he's taking his eyes out of play here, he being Rolls. Now watch, and slow, stop. See, his head's down. Now he can't see it. So what he does is he changed the trajectory again, and he threw that like corkscrew punch and clipped him on top of, like
he did it to him twice.
Yeah,
the first one was worse when he first got him in trouble earlier in the round. It was a big one.
Now watch, see, boom, and he catches it. He don't see, so it hurts him
very much.
And then of course he's able to continue and and keep the rhythm of the offense going. But again, creativeness, the sign of a champion. The ability to be calm in an uncalm place, to see things, to think clearly, where others would not think clearly in that kind of atmosphere. It's all what makes a great fighter. It's all what makes a champion. And it was on display. And I just wanted to make sure the people, because some of that stuff is subtle enough where you might not have seen it yourself.
Yeah.
You might not have caught it. And it's not an accident. It happened because he made it happen.
Yeah.
Because he saw the opportunity, like you said. He saw the guy's eyes go down. He said, okay, now there's no opening here. Let me create an opening by creating a punch.
You know what it reminded me of? If you see a well-seasoned veteran sparring with someone who's new to sparring at that level, where Triple G was so comfortable and relaxed, and he noticed that the guy was taking his eyes off him and putting his head down, and it almost looked like a move that a veteran might do in a sparring session, just clowning. But he saw the opportunity, and really that first corkscrew punch is what first got Rolls in trouble. If we can go back far enough, you'll see he starts to get staggered, and that's when the beginning of the end.
Now there was another one of those punches that was even more. There it is. There it is. That's it right there. Perfect spot. Rob really caught it well with that video right there. So again, kudos to him. Credit to him. You could say, and I don't blame you for saying it because I'm the first one to say it, Teddy, but, he was in there with a lesser opponent.
Yeah.
Yes, but not everybody gets rid of a lesser opponent that way. He got rid of him the way you're supposed to get rid of a lesser opponent. And to that, he gets credit.
For sure.